But
And hello, everyone. Lord, I can't with y'all. I can't. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ampistrano. I am DD Jordan Lee, your storyteller for today, and with this fantastic group of individuals. As you know, apparently my computer couldn't handle how awesome they are, and it crashed with perfect timing. Um, with me doing that. So thank you so much, Robo and Fair, for just forever immortalizing that. Thank you. Um, but
I want you to know as soon as you crashed, both me and Farah went screenshots.
Yeah.
I love that's your knee jerk reaction.
Like
Yep.
literal immediately it was like, oh, she
Yeah.
froze. Get
You know what?
Screen caps.
Go ahead and take a point of inspiration, because why the fuck not? It's been a minute. Let's go for it. We're going to start off strong. A very special thank you to our sponsors and affiliations: 1985 Games, Found Familiar, Tabletop Loot, Friday Afternoon Tea. Make sure to use D&D Jordan Lee and AmpistranoDND when you check out for a percentage off your purchase, and it does help to support the cast. Also, thank you to Idle Champions. You'll see a code down below, as well as well as it will be popping up in chat on occasion. So go check it out. It's an awesome game. They just added Astarion, Lae'zel, and I believe they're working to get the other Baldur's Gate NPCs added into it as well. I do want to also say a very special thank you to Duval, Fair, Sin, Sphinx, and Chris for an incredible one-shot. I was watching while unpacking and cracking up as the shenanigans ensued. The VOD will be up on our YouTube in the next couple of days, and we're hoping to do more of these with our Patreon patrons, so make sure to go and check out our Patreon. As now that I'm a bit more settled in my new space, there's gonna be more stuff popping up over there. Also, apologies for the hectic schedule we have had / are having. I moved, and it's been taking a little bit longer to settle in. And now is also the time for a lot of charity one-shots and events, thank you, Salem, to really start happening. So just as a kind of rundown of the next few weeks, we will be off next week, as many of us are doing one-shots on various channels. We'll be getting into those specific announcements in a moment, as well as some IRL things that'll be happening. And off on September 30th, as I will be at Big Bad Con. But we will be back to our regularly scheduled chaos on Saturday, October 7th. In the meantime, make sure to follow us on all socials and go check out our YouTube. Catch up on some episodes. All right, I'm going to turn over to individual announcements. Y'all, I can't. I fucking can't with y'all. Dimples, take it away with any announcements you may have.
Are you muted?
Oh yeah, there I'm muted. Hello, I am Dimples and Dice. Yeah, announcements. I'm going to be doing a stream for Renegade Con, Month of Darkness edition. We're going to be doing a storyteller roundtable for Vampire the Masquerade. I'm gonna be there with Jason Carl, Tracy Magitech, Mike Martin, and that is going to be October 5th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern time. So if you want to learn a little bit about being a GM for Vampire the Masquerade and other World of Darkness games, come see me.
Yes. Woo! And honestly take notes of everything he says, because he is a fantastic storyteller.
Agreed. Very much agreed. Awesome.
I am. Shit. I'll take that one. I am.
I am. Awesome.
Look at us taking compliments in stride. Yes, for healthy examples.
It's finally happening. It took me years.
Same. Amazing. Thank you so much. Dimples, let's jump over to Sin.
Hi. So my name is Sinziak, your resident sunflower person, who is far more boring than everyone else here because I don't have a whole bunch of stuff going on. However, I do want to tell you that later on today, Dimples, Robo, and Jordan are going to be talking about being a producer.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all should absolutely go and see those things. I believe this on like on D Sinclair's channel.
DC Lasser's channel tonight.
DC Lasser's, thank you.
You're welcome.
So there's that. Also, because of a change of schedule, I'm streaming tomorrow. So like for those of you who don't know, when I'm not here, I also do streaming things. I won't be streaming tomorrow at 11:30 in the morning. So if you want like chill time to go with your midday lunches, coffees, or probably work that you should have been doing and haven't done yet, or just need something in the background while you were cleaning, hi, come and hang out.
Heck yeah. And also, thank you. My mods are reminding that rule number 1 of this channel is we don't talk shit about ourselves. So,
I will fight me. I'll be in Philly in December. Pull up.
Anyways, Robo, we'll jump over to you.
I forgot. I blanked out. What the hell? Hi, it's me, RoboGoblin. You can find me at TTRP Gifts everywhere. I'll be playing I'll be playing Toby today. His pronouns are he, him. My pronouns are any, all. Right now, if you also want to happy Hispanic Heritage Month to everyone. We're gonna have an event that's coming up, and stay tuned for my Twitter stuff. Also, I love this incredible cast. I love you all, and thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Oh, I love you
We
too,
love
Robo.
you too, Robo, so much. Robo is also hosting an event over on your channel, right, Robo?
That's right.
Yeah,
Fuck.
they just produced for 2 Star Trek actors. Like, what the fuck, dude? We were over here like, you're not gonna say anything about the shit that you're doing right now? Robo? Talk about it.
Sorry. Right now we're having the Roll for the Arts stream on my channel. There's going on right now. Katrina is running Lasers and Feelings game, which is pretty cool. And we're raising money for the Entertainment Community Fund. If you want to drop there, you just go to the chat. Or if you want to donate some bucks for the Entertainment Community Fund, you can just do so with the bit.ly/roll for the arts, and you can donate there.
Woo! Thank you so much, Robo. And last but certainly not least, and again, it has to be said, even though it really doesn't, but it's still important to note. Fair! God damn it! The true owner of this channel, I'm just here. Fair.
Hi, I'm Farron. Fuck me. I'm playing Theodora Shade's son, your Battlemaster fighter. Pronouns she, her for both of us. My announcement, I'm still trying to get a new chair, so if you have money, send it to my coffee. Thank you so much. Otherwise, or only do it if you can, but also if there's like a more important fund, just give your money there. Because this isn't that important. It's important, but not that important. But yeah, I would like a new chair. My arm is falling apart as we speak, like literally. I would show you guys what it looks like, but it's
relatable.
Not good.
Yep.
It's not good at all. It's like I have like no support on that arm now because it's just falling apart. But yeah, other than that, keep an eye on my socials because I am doing a charity thing next Saturday. I just don't know any details right now. Thanks.
Yeah. Farrah and I are going to be part of the Stream MS weekend. I believe they'll be announcing games either today or tomorrow in terms of who's running and what's happening and the times and all that jazz. So go check that out. It's going to be a fantastic time. So a couple other quick announcements before we dive in. As a reminder, again, please go check out our Patreon. As mentioned before, we have a number of amazing things that are on there, such as some playlists, write-ups of the characters. We have some Q&As. We're slowly going to be working through the rest of the cast. I should have April's up shortly. We've got to see how things pan out in the next couple weeks, as well as Sins, and we'll have Robos and Dimples at some point as well. A very special thank yous to Sphinx7, Mama Strange, Fluffy Snowfall, Chris Gideon, Buzz Lightyear, Lily42, and Goblin Katie for your support. It does help support the cast, as well as some exciting things that we are hoping we'll be able to announce potentially in the next few weeks for some stuff later this year. Also, special shout out to our wonderful editor, Perpetual Noob, who's been killing it with the TikToks. So please go check out our TikTok and go support Perpetual Noob because he's amazing and has been a joy to work with. And hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to drop a subscribe, like, and comment. It's free and seriously does help us out. It's free to do. We're working towards YouTube partner, and we're trying to grow our community over there as well. We work to upload about 2 to 4 videos each week. All right, y'all, I think that's it. So without further ado, let us go beyond the veil of Ampistrano. Woo!
Oh my god, that reminds me. I don't care if we're going back. I'm
Yep,
gonna say
we're
this
back.
anyway. Last night I went
But-
to camp and hit the long rest button to end the day. And like I guess when I was doing inventory management, I wasn't paying attention. I put my character's camp clothes away. So I was like, why are you naked? What's
Oh, I
happening
did that to
here?
Rovo.
swinging.
I did that to Rovo. He was having a scene with Withers, and I just popped up naked.
And I
you
ended my
popped up, didn't
conversation,
you?
and Jordan, it was like half naked. They're like, oh, hi, Jordan.
No, my character was full naked, like labia out, just naked. I was just like so startled because I didn't know what the fuck had happened.
Welcome back, everyone.
Wow.
Nobody else was naked.
There's a reason I don't stream this game. I'm just saying.
Oh god.
Welcome back.
Are we okay?
We're fine. We're just
Great.
all
I think
talking
we're
about
fine.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. All right. So, when last we left our adventurers, a battle began at the Druid training grounds as everyone took an opportunity to learn more about the spirit magic they wield. After a good day of exploration and a workout, the group retired to a local tavern where drinks, cooking, and food were had. Blackstone took some time to learn about the science of cooking and better assisting their teammates, while Toby, Deodora, Captain Draven, and Cribble discussed the most recent recovery of the missing from Vibran, as well as asked about the capital, Jorix. Toby also then divulged that he is born of the sunset, one that can move and shift like the nature energies around, and now he's a wildfire druid. That evening, Deodora was visited by the Lady of the Vale, who, along with the energies of the Shift Weave, imbued Sparky with a growth spurt. a request was made to retrieve armor and a blade, once held by the shiftweaves chosen before the society does, and that the group must head to the Zyrenia Mountains, which are based to the north of the capital of Jorax. Unable to pinpoint the exact location, the lady imparted her blessings and a good luck. As morning approached, the group convened and decided that dividing and conquering would be the best idea, with Blackstone and Deodora heading to the archives, and Toby, Captain Drabin, and Cribble heading to the Druid grounds, and that is where we pick up. There's a crispness to the air as you all step outside of the hearth. A cool breeze moves through, rustling the trees and sending leaves into a dance with the air. Reds, yellows, greens, and purple leaves twirling and twisting downwards onto the forest floor. You can already see that there are small piles beginning to gather in places as they plaster themselves to parts of the stone pathways around Vibrant. You all find the city of Vibrant itself slowly awakening. Sleepy merchants heading to their stalls or opening their shops, children heading to their respective schools. You also can smell the scent of probably what would be what we associate as fall foods being cooked up. You can smell pumpkin bread, cinnamon, apples being cooked and made into either cider or various treats. All of that's wafting through the air, and it seems to punctuate it through the crispness as well. You all notice that in the first time in probably a while, it's not super humid here. Some of you are probably having to bundle up slightly more, feeling that coolness. As I leave the day to you, what do you all do?
Yeah. So, where are we just leaving to the Druid Grove with Draven
And Cribble.
and Cribble? We are doing that, right? Do you all want to go first, library people, or shall we?
No, go have some handshakes.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
All right. Is this your first time in this place, Captain Draven and Cribble?
Yeah, it's my first time, but I've never been here before. Absolutely not. It's not the kind of place I normally hang out. I prefer to be on the sea.
All right. Because this is kind of my first time, and to be honest, I really don't know how to be a druid with other druids, because I'm not used to having a lot of druids, except my dad. But let's see how this goes. And Toby just walks up to a tree outside of the druid grove and went, it's me, Toby Monteazul of the Monteazul Druids in Elepen, Forest of Elepen. I am here to report myself. And I turn to Gray.
That sounded good to me.
And you're talking to a tree?
I'm just talking to a tree.
Okay. Cool. Why don't you do a nature check for me, please?
Oh no. Why the hell do I have +5 on performance? I don't even know that. Cool. Oh, that's a natural 20 for a 22.
Let's go. Okay. Okay. You approach this tree, and of the ones that are in the vicinity, it's not the largest. This is one that's seems like it's been recently planted. You can tell that the bark hasn't quite adjusted with the area itself around. There's still overturned dirt around it as well. And after a moment, you do see that it's almost like it looks like sap slowly coming out of the tree and starting to bisect the trunk itself. as you see markings starting to form, which you're able to read, as it is one of the languages that you do speak. Basically, in sapling language, it is basically saying, hello, thank you for telling me who you are, please leave.
And I turn to Draven and Cribble. Oh, they're giving me an answer. Let's see. Hello? Thank you for telling me. Please leave. My apologies, tree. And I go to the next tree. Do the same thing.
Do the same thing? Okay.
So is it that particular tree that's not welcoming, or is it like the whole forest, or is the druids, or?
I'm not actually sure. Might be just this tree, so I'm gonna try with this next tree. Hi, tree. My name is Toby Montesul from the, and I just start saying that.
And based off of the previous nature check, this one seems like it's been there for a while. Pretty chill. The writing you see popping up on the trunk, and again, this is sap that's kind of coming through the tree itself and starting to, there's almost like a calligraphy to it. It's very intricate, it's very elegant. Kind of giving the vibe of like like a grandmother who's writing a letter, just almost like cursive writing with the sapling across it. And you see even punctuations with like flecks of leaves that have been kind of pulled from the tree itself. This one basically saying, hello, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you, Toby. What might I be of assistance of?
Thank you, tree. We just need to talk or enter the Druid Grove, and I don't know if I just needed to ask for assistance or just go in.
Well, you should be able to make the acquaintance of Liara. Did you not?
Yeah, we have met, but can I just call them?
She's right there over by the Druid training ground. She doesn't really leave, so that's where they kind of sleep over there. So you could just pop over there if that was something. Or do you need a message sent to her? I could perhaps have one of my residents send a message over to her.
Oh, you can do that? That's actually pretty cool. No, I think we just are going in to the Druid Grove. But thank you so much, Tree. What is your name?
Oh, my name is Lila. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Lila. I'll leave you to the rest of your day. Have a nice day.
You too. And the sap kind of just slowly fades back into the trunk.
I think we can.
You got this, buddy. Did you get it? Did you got this?
Yeah. I think we can go in now.
Yay!
And we go into the Druid Grove.
Okay. All right. You find yourselves just at that archway again, and you see Liara's kind of early morning, so she's doing some tidying, raking some of the leaves off of the path, moving them over to the sides where sections are, you can see there seems to be like these small kind of, looks almost like hills. And as she's sweeping the hills, you see enlarge, and you see they're instead opening their gaping mouths, and the leaves are kind of being shoved in, and then it just swallows the leaves whole and settles back down, kind of returning the plant life to whence it came. But you do hear these kind of, as they're kind of moving around and eating these piles of leaves that are all over the place. And she does kind of look over at you as you approach. A bit bleary, kind of sleepy. You can see there are some bags underneath her eyes. Perhaps not as well slept as you and Captain Draven, Cribble. I kept wanting to combine your two names. Captain Dribble are feeling. But she, hello there.
Hello, Liara. This is Captain Draven and Cribble.
Yeah, we met yesterday, I think.
Oh, well, now you met twice. I apologize.
It's a better, you know what? This is an even better introduction. So,
Oh, okay.
it's great. Wonderful to have you all back. Are you thinking about getting some more training done, or what are you thinking?
Oh, no, we actually had like a couple of questions
Sure.
before we actually leave.
Have you all had breakfast? Do you want some tea?
And I turn to
I can always eat. I absolutely love eating. It is one of my favorite things, especially when I'm on there.
Wonderful. Follow me. And thank you, Salem, escorts you down a path, not taking you back through the archway, it's off to the right. And you can see that this isn't an actual pathway. Instead, it's where the grass has kind of been pushed down because they've trekked that way so much. The grass is overgrown in parts. And you're walking for a few minutes, and then you see what looks to be a rather large mushroom. Bright red top with white spots on it. Massive, that's seemingly growing out one of these much larger trees. You can see on the door itself, it is a massive spot with this door handle that is almost like a giant S of wood that's kind of pulled out of the actual mushroom itself. You can see that there's a small cutout, almost like a crescent window in the door frame itself. And there's a steady little stream of smoke coming out of a very small chimney at the top of this mushroom. You can see around the area there's lavender and it's a very peaceful kind of space. You can hear birds chirping. It's just kind of a quiet oasis, it seems, for her. But she ushers you through the door to a very small home. But you do see that there is a teapot already simmering some hot water. And she quickly goes about putting together some tea and some plates. Is there anything specific you were looking for in terms of tea?
I'll have whatever tea is in season.
Okay. Well, we do have some pumpkin tea, but...
That sounds good.
Are there any other choices, perhaps?
Of course.
Pumpkin.
Yep, we have there's Earl Grey.
Certainly, that's fantastic.
Perfect. Okay.
And if you don't mind my asking, and I normally don't make too many requests, but do you happen to have honey?
Always. And it's fresh, too.
Captain, you can't just be asking random people for shit. But it's honey, Cribble. We don't get honey very often.
Nope. And as she's saying that, she kind of taps the kind of table over by, like, there's a small sink, and you can see there's a small hearth as well. She taps it, and the wood actually rises up, and you see that there is actually what appears to be a beehive is living in this kind of cabinet, and it pulls up, and you can see that there's a bunch of honeycombs on the side, and you can see worker bees and a queen bee as well, kind of moving about, and as she raises it up, it kind of you see this kind of almost like a straw kind of pulling out and siphoning into a small kind of mason jar, fresh honey that's coming in.
And Draven whispers over, it's like, I'm not sure if that's creepy or amazing.
After a few moments, she does bring everything over. She's brought some biscuits, some breakfast sandwiches, very dainty. Think of like a tea time kind of thing. Just something light, but still filling at the same time. So, what's going on? You're muted, Robo.
Yep. We were just wondering. We apparently have a new adventure ahead of us, and we were wondering if you knew anything about was it the mountains here, or?
Are you asking
It
about the Zyrenia Mountains?
The
Yes.
Serenian
Yes.
Mountains. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to know, that's a big journey ahead of you. Is there something specific you're looking for, or just kind of going for sights and sounds, so to speak?
We were, we heard there's something there that can actually help us.
Okay. Well, is there something specific you wanted to know in regards to the mountains, such as preparations, equipment you should be getting, climate?
Then I'd be ready to nuke like some skeletons or something with radiant amazingness.
Sure. So it sounds like you're more so looking into folklore around them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess it depends on which passage you're taking into the mountains. If you're coming at it from west to east, there is a village that's right at that passageway that not many folks have been going through, at least from our information that we've had. Few people believe that it's one of the last standing villages from when the rupture happened. But most people try to avoid it. It's not really an active village, it's more so ruins. But that's certainly something. And there, of course, have been rumors, and she does look over at Cribble. There have been rumors of skeletons roaming about.
I can handle skeletons.
So there's a few that way, and it's not one that I've ever been to. There was kind of a magical sickness that was enveloping that village, so I would just tread carefully if you go that way. But if you've gotten this far, it should be a walk in the park for you all. Actual mountains themselves, there's the mines. There's several dwarven cities that find themselves entrenched there. Several people also believe that there could be portals into other planes. It's another area of Ampistrano that the kind of bend between here and other places are very flexible. So it's fairly likely, you could easily go there, but they could also easily come here, depending upon what other beings they may be. So things like aboleths, dragons are all rumored to be within those mountains as well. There is, I believe, actually a dragon that is said to live at the top of the mountains as well, although she hasn't been spotted in quite some time. So it's a very rich area. Few people call it the gauntlet if they're really wanting to test themselves the most.
I just got out of the Gauntlet of Shar, so please no gauntlets anymore. Okay, so this sounds like a mighty adventure then. I know I'm gonna ask this, but I think I know the answer. But is the dragon there one of the good dragons?
Historically, yes.
Oh, okay. That makes this a little bit
She's been one
easier.
of the protectors of Jorix in times of great need, but like I said, she hasn't been spotted in quite some time.
Would I know the name of this dragon by chance?
Why don't you roll a history check?
Yeah, let's get the roll on. History. That is a 17.
17. Takes you a bit. You're more familiar with the seas, but being so, you're also not a stranger from hearing stories and tales being told, swapped at taverns, things like that. the actual name of this dragon does not come into your head, but more so the kind of descriptor of them, the unbreakable, is what they're kind of known as. They're believed to have been one of the dragons that helped forge the city of Jorix itself, carving it from the cliffside and creating a lot of the landscapes that are around, working with the sea dragons to find the boundaries between where the land ends and the sea begins. There's been discussions, or there's a rumored pact between the land, the unbreakable, and sea dragons about a pact that was created to make sure that everyone was protected, and there were certain things in regards to that pact. Rumors, speculations, a lot of times people thinking it relates to treasure of some sort or some kind of hidden trove underneath Jorix itself.
That's why I asked that question.
Yeah,
I was like,
no.
I've been in Jorix enough.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep. Very good question.
All right.
Okay. So if this dragon would be there, we might need to ask this dragon for whatever we need, right? Right, Captain Cribble? And Cribble?
I mean, I would think so, but I mostly want to get you all back to my ship alive, if possible, and get back to my ship. And Cribble wanted to learn about Druidcraft. I wanted to learn about Druidcraft. Maybe like making roots, like go into someone's eyeballs, but not like into their eyeballs to take their eyeballs out, but more to be like, hey, to help them restore their sight if they have like problems. Because like some of the other, you know, the tadpoles, they get injured doing dumb things background from, and then they have me heal them up. But sometimes when they like poke themselves in the eyes, they're big and bulging, and it's not a good solution.
Well, Toby, would you mind helping me? We can show you a couple things quickly.
Yeah.
And you see for a moment she kind of steps. Sorry, words just combined in my head. Gets up and moves over to a table real quick. And you see that she's got several like mortals and pestles kind of set up with various plants, herbs. And she starts quickly kind of pulling some of the leaves off and occasionally handing some to Toby to kind of help weed some of the actual leaves off of some of the stems of some of these plants and putting them into the mortar. She takes some dirt as well, and you see Cass create water, turning it into a mud, and starts moving the herbs around, and then hands it to Toby for a moment. Needs a spark.
I haven't done this as my new self, but all right.
Now's the time.
And he will cast Druidcraft on the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, it seems like a tiny, tiny flame just goes off. And then creates this tiny tree, like a tiny acorn tree. But it sets itself on fire, and then it melts into the mud. Okay, so what do we need?
So, tell me, Cribble, are you an arcane user?
Oh yeah, I've created water and radiance and all kinds of fun stuff.
Okay.
I'm also really good at healing up the captain when he goes and gets himself hurt, trying to be the defender of the people.
I'll let...
Cribble, please, you don't have to.
So we already have the presentation of earth here and water. We have nature as present. And with that, we've imbued some of our spirit signature into this magic already. We need some arcane magic to make this work. This is kind of a, different druid craft, so to speak. but it might become useful for healing on your journey. So, Cribble, what would you like to add to this?
Ooh, I gotta think. I saw Toby use fire, right?
Mm-hmm. We have fire and water and earth.
Okay. Got it. And you see Cribble crawl up, jump on top of Toby. It's like, I hope you don't mind. I just need for a second.
Nope.
And then looks at the dirt and like, all right, get your shine on. And does a little rubbing of the hands like, all right, I know you got me. And then cast Sacred Flame.
Okay. Immediately, the mortar lights up. What does the flame look like?
It looks like gold glitter.
Okay.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like coming up from the bottom, it just kind of rises up like a little bit of a golden fire, and it kind of goes up and then lights it up, and then it just kind of explodes into like a trickle of golden glitter just falling back down.
I love that. Mm-hmm. After a few moments, the glitter and the fire slowly shift, slowly kind of calming down, and you see the actual mixture itself is kind of cooling into almost like a lotion, as eventually it goes to a pale blue teal, and then eventually fades to a no more light, and you can see it looks literally like mud is in there. Well, that would be my recommendation. You don't necessarily have to rely on druidcraft to perhaps do things like that or heal wounds. You can use the earth and your magic and yourselves to create these different things to assist you on your journey. In this mortar, and you can knock this down, is one antidote to be used on any poison or paralysis.
They always tell you that God works in mysterious ways, but like those other people don't talk to the gods. They never talk. You gotta have a conversation.
Oh, do you talk to your... Wait, are you... Do you talk to a god?
Yeah. Do you not?
No. Not at all.
Huh.
Are they nice? Or, well...
I mean, the ones that I talk to are, but the results may vary.
May I ask, who is it?
Looks around for a minute. Let's talk when we go back to camp. I'm not always super comfortable telling random people I don't know. No offense to your lady, but
None
just,
taken.
Since we are going to be traveling together, I'd like this to be a little bit more of a personal conversation.
Absolutely.
Just know this is a judgment-free zone when it comes to who you throw your pack behind, so to speak. But I fully respect your decision. But hopefully that will be of some assistance. Is there anything else that the two of you need?
I think that is all for now. Do you recommend us... What is the better route to just getting to meet this dragon?
She's at the top of the mountains. She's got a den up there, believed to be at least. So you could take the Forgotten Village route, so to speak, or you could perhaps follow the river, which should take you right up to the mountains themselves, and go the forest route.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it just depends upon what you and your party are feeling more comfortable with. Sounds like you're looking for adventure, so perhaps the village route, or maybe you're wanting a little bit more of an easier time. forest route would be probably what you would want
Okay.
to do then too.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to ask them. But thank you all. Thank you so much for your help, and I mean this sincerely. I guess I'm still getting a hang of myself with, but you made it easier for me to understand myself, and you just gave me a lot of information to just take on the future, and maybe in a few months I'll come back and maybe I'll be different. I really don't know, but thank you for everything. Truly.
Not a problem. My archway is always open for you and your team. And if you need anything, you're always welcome to send me a message as well. One other recommendation, I would definitely stock up on items before you travel, whether that be health potions or rations or things of that nature. Never know what you might be getting into on these roads. And what at least you all have told me and Geegan has mentioned when it came to your training, it sounds like you have quite the fight ahead of you. So I would hate for you to find yourselves, well, wanting.
Okay, we will do that.
And you
Thank
can
you.
tell your friend, Deodora, I'll be trying my best to see about getting things changed and moved quickly. Because I very much agree with her. We need to be acting, not watching.
Okay, I will do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you for your time, Miss Liara. It's been a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. And you see she waves her hands, and for a moment, the teacups that you all were using start to take more on a kind of leaf texture, giving you all to-go cups while you're kind of heading back down the...
Thank you for teaching Toby how to set himself on fire.
Yeah, that was really nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. She just kind of slowly shuts the door,
It's really cool. I mean,
leaving you three out just outside the grove.
Yeah. Did you wanted to ask anything else? I'm sorry, I didn't ask before, Captain Draven.
no. I feel like I can learn a whole lot from you directly. Except the whole setting yourself on fire thing. I don't think I need that in my life. I need to keep a certain level of moisture to actually stay alive. So,
You need to be moist. I get it.
indeed, yes, very much. A good sheen.
Yeah, I get that. It's just that I'm getting the hang of myself right now. And apparently I'm one of those druids that will change maybe in a year or less than that. But
What
whatever
do you
you
think
need,
drives it?
I don't know. Since I've talked to my dad before, and before I was more entwined with the moon, he told me that nature changes. And since we are connected to nature itself, maybe we are changing too. Then maybe we change with nature too.
Makes as much sense as anything to me. Being on the sea, weather, nature, creatures.
It would be interesting to know that, because I've never been to the sea. And once I get there, will I change into something else? I don't know.
Hopefully,
I'm
we
excited
can
to find
fall
out.
in.
I'm excited to
Don't
find out.
accidentally fall in, by the way. Just
Okay.
would not recommend. Absolutely wouldn't recommend that. You never know what's actually down there. I actually do know what's down there, and that's why I'm recommending that you don't accidentally fall in. Not all of my brethren are quite as nice as I am.
I've read a lot on adventures, people having adventures, and since I've never gotten to see the sea itself, I would really, really want to. And especially with someone who knows a lot about it. So, it's nice to meet you. Captain Draven, to meet you both, actually. Captain Draven and Cripple.
You two, I'm excited. It's gonna be great. Except for the whole dragon thing. I don't want to get eaten by a dragon.
Yeah, me neither. Let's go find out what Theodora and Blackstone did.
And with that,
Yeah.
yep, the camera pans out. They give you such Batman vibes. Like,
Exactly.
we pan back probably about 30, 40 minutes back towards the hearth, back when you both were, your two groups were splitting up. And we find ourselves with Deodora, a, much bigger version of Sparky, and Blackstone. What would the two of you like to be doing during this time?
Blackstone, did you still want to head to the library today?
I would. I have a couple of things I would like to look up there. Well, hopefully they'll have them in the archives. Although, I think I have a backup plan if they don't.
And what is the backup plan exactly?
It's a surprise.
Theodora looks trepidatious, but doesn't say anything. Okay. A good surprise, right?
Mm-hmm. This one is a safe form of science.
Okay.
You look concerned.
Well, I guess I'll just have to wait and see what it is that you're going to be doing, because again, one of the last times you did science, you kept blasting yourself into a wall.
But it doesn't involve magic circles or candles.
There are other ways to blast yourself into a wall without needing candles or magic circle, I think.
Oh, like what?
I mean, I guess if you accidentally on purpose built some kind of explosive device.
I don't know if I know how to do that yet, but perhaps I could learn.
If that's what you want.
I am currently practicing cooking.
You get a fire hot enough, it can explode.
Well, yes, but if I destroy food, it will cause you to be upset at me.
Also true.
Therefore, I will be foregoing that option, unless our lives are in mortal danger.
Okay, noted. Should we get going?
Sure.
Okay.
Theodora.
Hmm?
Never mind. And I keep walking.
No, what is it?
I was going to ask you a question, but I feel like I already know the answer.
Well, what was the question?
If you would be willing to keep me safe in case something goes wrong.
Oh. And what do you think the answer is?
From who, when, where, and doesn't matter really. I'll just stab them.
Yeah, that's pretty much right.
Okay.
Do you know a lot about the Feywild as a person who's lived in the woods?
I'm trying to think if Deodora would know. Because I think even though she's lived in the woods, it is still a separate place. Well, I know what Aurea has told me. And you pick up things along the way about fairy circles and the like, but I wouldn't call myself an expert by any means. A lot of what is said out there is usually rumor or speculation. I've never been there.
Aren't these the kind of places that Sparky comes from?
I think Sparky comes from someplace else. When I died, Sparky was also there. With other blink dogs.
Interesting. I will have to add that note to my science.
Yeah, I'd be interested in knowing your findings.
I will try to explain them to you, because more than likely they are going to be in books, and as I understand, you do not yet read those.
That is correct. Yeah, I don't read. I don't know where the archive is either, so if you could lead the way.
Oh, right. I can do that.
And you do, after a couple moments, start to kind of trek the path towards the entrance to Felk. Blackstone, you do vaguely remember seeing it in passing, the facade that was on the side of the archives itself. After a few minutes wandering the streets as they're starting to get busier, as day is really in the morning itself is in full swing, you eventually find yourselves right up on a trunk of a tree that looks like it's been partially cut and kind of wedged between two stone pillars that are seemingly keeping the trunk itself from collapsing. You can see the stones kind of rising up about 20 to 30 feet in the air and kind of helping to act almost as borders, keeping this thing in place. You can see that there's large amounts of chipped wood coming from it as well. The stonework actually melds with the tree trunk around it, as you see that there's kind of a overhead kind of area where there's a large triangular kind of facade on the top of the building itself, and you see that there are 7 individuals that are kind of carved into the stone and wood. It's kind of that marriage between the two. The one in the very center and the one that you recognize the most easily is you do see Carmen pictured as kind of looking up, wearing her mask. Hair is kind of cascading outwards, almost like she's either casting a spell or focusing in on something in the very center. The other individuals around her are wearing similar kind of robes with masks on them as well, although more off to the side. Seemingly they're her kind of subordinates, following whatever she may be requesting of them to do. And the actual trunk itself, you see that there's a large red door, which doesn't have a window, and the doorknob itself, you can see, is made of this kind of chipped stone, almost like granite, that's largely either it looks like it's been chewed or just overuse or age has kind of pulled away from how smooth and polished some of the other buildings and areas that you've seen around Felk so far have been. So you, do you open the door, or are you going to stand out there and see?
There's a moment where, as we walk up to the building, we take a look at things, when I recognize that this is Carmen in the statue, I just come to like a sudden stop in the middle of our walking.
Just as a reminder for myself, Carmen is the being that Blackstone has spoken to inside their head, for lack of a better phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay.
And there's a statue of her?
A carving of her, basically. She's on the town hall facade. You know, like how we see in like museums and stuff, they have like those placards and stuff. It's basically, it's like that, but it's on top of the archives.
Okay. I think Theodora keeps walking and then realizes that Blackstone is no longer with her. And turns. Because I don't think she knows anything about Carmen. Is there something wrong, Blackstone?
No, well, this might explain some other things I was hoping to ask about, but you see this one here, and I gesture at the kind of carving of Carmen here. That, well, that's her. The person that I tried to describe to you, that I saw, who wasn't quite the Lady of the Veil, but basically who I have seen when, well, for lack of a better explanation, when I explore my inner world, this person appears. This person has been guarding my memories for a very long time, too. Her name is Carmen.
I think that's... I don't know what to make of that. But maybe we'll find more inside? Or hopefully we'll find more inside?
This seems to be the kind of thing that we might find more than we were expecting to.
It seems like that's been the case for you since we've gotten here.
Well, I suppose there is that.
Sorry, I'm confused by what's happening in Zoom chat right now.
Same. So,
Like, what is
kind
that?
of
What are they fucking talking about? I'm about to close it.
look around at the door. Kind of like at the facade in general and at the door.
On the plaque of this carving, is there any sort of inscription or anything?
Nope. There's no inscriptions. You can tell that the carvings themselves are very worn away. Why don't you do a history or shift weave check for me, please?
I'm going to pick a place that I could comfortably like sit down or lean on a wall.
Do I just add proficiency to shift weave?
Correct.
Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You see, for a moment, your eyes are adjusting as you're kind of getting the full scope of it, and the morning sun is now starting to cast more of those shadows. Within those shadows is where you start to see the words that you don't necessarily have to read to understand. You see that through these shadows, there is information on there about the nymphs on the facade itself. These are, for all intents and purposes, marking the protectors of Felk at one point. The main one being Carmen, who was known in that time period, although she has disappeared from time itself, and the actual outcome of what became of her rather, is still a bit of a mystery. she has still left her mark. She was the one that people turned to when it came to the larger decisions around Felk itself. She was the one that the council would report to. So this is something that is showing that her leadership in this position that was kind of thrust upon her, as well as those that followed her, her kind of acolytes that would assist, because as you've seen, this is a massive city. It's very difficult to be able to keep an eye on absolutely everything. So it's kind of immortalizing her as well as her main kind of followers and those that she could trust. Interestingly enough, with that role, you see towards the sides of the facade itself, on either side, it looks almost like something's been scratched off. But for a moment, your eyes adjust, kind of focusing in, and you see two individuals that have been carved on either side. One that does look very worn away, but you can tell by the way that they're standing very rigidly, it does look like this could potentially be Blackstone. And then on the left-hand side, you see what appears to be a half-orc male in presentation, roughly in their late teens, early 20s. Kind of wearing what I would equate to, honestly, kind of a kind of science-y kind of outfit, almost like a artificer. You can see they have bobs and ends. It's not deeply carved or intricate. In fact, it's kind of, both of these are largely covered with dust or worn away, but you're taking in every detail, and the shadows are assisting you in being able to read that which is normally overlooked. So you're able to pick up on that. But the archives fell under her protection. So that's what it's kind of giving you when it came to this.
I think as like Deodora's like reading the shadows and the shift, she'll like put her hand on the plaque just to sort of like get more information from it. But and almost like, I don't want to say like absentmindedly, but like somewhat that way, she'll say, she's a protector of this place, or was.
Can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Ooh, no. Wisdom save. 13.
13. You place your hand on the facade itself, kind of reaching up. It's not super high off the ground, like it's pretty reachable. And you're running your fingers along kind of the carving itself. And for a moment, it's almost like electricity just kind of shot through you. The smell of fire, burning wood, assaults your senses immediately. You see the facade, but it's surrounded by flames. You can see for a moment that the actual building, the archives itself, was a much grander, larger building, but it is completely engulfed in smoke. You can hear the screaming of people running around the area. You can feel the trembling of earth as something large is moving through the area. And it's almost like someone injected ice into your veins for a moment. You can just feel it. You're not here with Blackstone. You're in a completely different space. And you look down at your stomach, and there's a pool of red blood that's coming out of your stomach. There's a large puncture wound coming through. And as soon as, almost like a breath, you're back, kind of faltering slightly for a moment. You will take 4 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
And I'll say, with that, when you looked down at your stomach, you weren't wearing your usual garb. You were wearing a golden dress.
Something bad happened here. An attack. This place was on fire. She was like a nymph, a protector of this place. Does she wear a gold dress?
If she did then, I don't know if she does now. Does she still?
Yeah.
Someone killed her, or at least tried to. And I don't know how to say this in a way that won't, I don't know, maybe concern you, but you also used to be on this plaque and you were chipped away. You and a half-orc. I'm not sure who they are.
Possibly my younger brother.
Perhaps.
If I understand things correctly. And Blackstone starts looking around for, like, in different places from where they are, looking for places to, like, hide or be out of sight of people on the road.
There's, it's a little bit difficult just because it's kind of on a main thoroughfare, but you can see that the large portion of this area is relatively abandoned. Like, most people that are walking by are not even noticing that you're both at the archives, kind of thing. They're busy looking around, but the archives itself and these pillars are kind of off on their own, even on a very main blood vessel through Felk. So you're not getting stares, but you can easily find a spot to kind of take a moment if you need to.
Theodora, I will need to ask you to step over here for a moment, and I pick a place that's like just like not easily visible, probably more in the shadows, if it's possible to find one. And
Yep.
I go, this feels like a very difficult ask, and it shouldn't be, but I need you to trust me. And I offer Theodora a very gloved automaton hand.
I take it.
So Jordan, what are the roles for? Because I don't know how this works yet. What are the roles for spirit shenanigans to go to the library?
So you would roll your spirit counter, basically.
Okay.
What are you hoping to do?
To take myself and Theodora to the library.
It is there. I mean, the door. Are you trying to?
Oh no, like the one in my
Okay.
like yeah,
Okay.
like the one that I have in the sea of my soul, as it were. So
Got it. Okay.
Right.
Sorry,
You said I need to-
I was like, which library are
that's
you
fine.
talking about?
The library.
The library, got it.
T-H-E-E, library, all
Got
caps.
it. Got it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So that spirit roll is a 19.
19. How do you focus in, and how are you bringing Theodora into the fold and basically entering your soul, your library?
I kind of like while I'm holding Theodora's hand, I'm also like as much like the thing is things that automatons don't really do. Like, you know how there's like kind of the pulsing of different like of color as like Blackstone does things and expresses stuff. That becomes very still. The colors that you see, this for like, you know, of like eyes and circuitry and stuff are golden this time. And the gold light becomes brighter by the moment until it is all that you see. And then there is nothing. for a couple of seconds. After which you see come into focus a portcullis that is like 12 feet tall. It has a large, elaborate carving on it, and then that carving is a tree, like it's a very ornate tree.
Theodora, you feel yourself being pulled. Not just physically, but it's kind of that moment of when you're falling asleep. Smooth. Not jolting, but being lulled into someone else's dream, someone else's personality. It's that moment when two people click. You see that portcullis before you, and it starts to glow as everything turns not white, not black, but a gray. And that is where we're going to take our break. So, we are going to take about 10 minutes, y'all, to stretch, get up, get some water, all that jazz. Y'all are doing great. God damn it, Tipples. You fucking... I love it. It's great. We're going to be back in about 10 minutes, y'all. So make sure you get up, hydrate, all that jazz. Go check out our Patreon. And thank you so much, by the way, for the bits and subs that have been popping in. So it's so appreciated. We're so happy to be back. But we'll see you all in about 10 minutes. See you soon.
Butts.
Wow. Welcome back.
Moist butts.
Moist butts.
No,
Ew, no, I don't like that combo.
No,
I don't like that combo. I was good with those separate.
I was good until that. I was literally good until that.
I have done the unthinkable. Everyone here was in unison one time. Y'all are welcome. Archive that.
Yeah, we're all
Okay.
against sin right now.
Yeah, that was no. I'm
Nah, that was not good.
good. That was,
I
Sin
am
really
willing to
came in
be
here.
I'm willing to be the villain that y'all need so that y'all can be the friend you're supposed to be. That's how that
not you,
works.
Aaron Yeagering this. No.
Oh, no, you didn't do that. Oh, hold on. Not Aaron Yeager, Lord.
I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna move on from it. You might as well just said
50%.
swamp ass, dude.
Oh.
You might as well just said that.
Oh my god.
I love it here.
I love this game and I love the people in it. Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you were able to get up. Oh, my cheeks hurt for laughing. Get up, stretch, move around, all that jazz. We are gonna get right back into it. There has been a lot happening. So if you're just joining us, the group has been exploring Felk again, dividing and conquering. We had Toby and Captain Draven and Cribble going and having some tea with Liara, and learning a little bit about the Zyrenia Mountains, about a village that was impacted by some kind of spell plague or spell illness of some sort, as well as some of the other folklores that are around it, and, well, needing to perhaps stock up on some items before hitting the road, and learning a bit about some other nature, wow, words are really hard for me today, y'all, ADHD, nature-based magic that could perhaps come in handy on the road ahead. During that time, Blackstone and Theodora slowly made their way over to the archives, and upon seeing it and kind of the state that it's in, became fixated on the kind of facade that's on the outer part of the building itself, noting that the most central figure on this carved facade is Carmen, who has been appearing in Blackstone's visions for the last few weeks especially. Blackstone wanting to take some time to think on it. Theodora took the moment to do some investigations on the facade and came in encounter with a vision, possibly from the past, that the Shiftweave was trying to communicate to her. At that time, Blackstone then decided to welcome Theodora into their inner library, and that is where we pick up. So, everything fades to gray, and you find yourself in a stone hallway stone hallway. It's relatively dark. There you can see are torches kind of lighting the hallway every so often. There are wooden doors on either side of the hallway. This hallway itself expands. You can see further down about 100 or so feet, it kind of breaks into a fork. Why don't both of you roll a spirit check for me, please?
Am I +2 or +3?
You
did
are
I have this written down?
+3
Okay.
with your most recent level up.
Okay.
That's a 14.
14.
19.
19. The both of you feel a coolness settling in the air. And it's one of those moments of you can kind of feel who you are kind of pushing against the boundaries around you. This place that you have just entered is massive. It's perhaps not something that you're going to be able to fully explore today. But
So, just as a question here for a player, though, so that I'm clear on where we are, this is like on the inside of my mind right now is where we are. Still.
yes, essentially what I was getting to describing, you both have entered a labyrinth. That's what you're able to pick on. It's a much larger kind of threshold to kind of give that image, and perhaps it makes more sense. The fact that Blackstone, a lot of their memories are so either worn away or warped, it's hard to tell. It would make sense that your mind itself is a much more complicated place. One that is hiding secrets from itself, not necessarily Carmen hiding everything.
Well, I suppose we should get ourselves going, but before we do, and this is important for the time being, it is probably best. It is probably best that you not speak of the things that we find in here.
Oh, okay. I can keep your secrets.
Okay. I make my way forward into the labyrinth. So, Jordan, I will ask this question. Like, normally when I've had to, find my way to Carmen in the library, have I wound up here before, or is this new for me?
It's one of those things of when you've met with Carmen, it's been in a meeting room. You haven't actually gone into the library that is yourself. You haven't needed to be fair. You've always met in that meeting room because there's been that mutual understanding, or she's always come to you. This is you entering into a deeper part of yourself. But not only that, the more kind of hidden aspects, and Carmen is still, even though she's made herself known and her presence known, she is one of those that is also still very much hidden, bogged down. Her personality, her spirit isn't the dominant one housing the automaton that you are in. It is you. So hers is very much kind of think of like the things that you put in your jewelry box or in your purse or bag or whatever. It's there, but it's bogged down.
Okay. So I proceed forward into the labyrinth until, like, basically looking for signs of Carmen, because, like, that is, at least for now, my goal here is finding Carmen.
Okay. You focus in for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Everything feels very cold here. You're not really picking up any impressions of Carmen's spirit on this area.
So, Theodora, this is going to sound somewhat strange to you, but while I have an idea of where we've gone, I'm not exactly sure of where things are.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense to me. The mind is a complicated place.
It seems mine more so than most. You know, I hadn't thought about this until now, and I suppose even that is an ironic turn of phrase considering where we are. But normally, when I run into Carmen, I've been requested, given an audience, as it were. I think this is the first time I've specifically gone looking for her. Normally, she's a lot easier to find. This is interesting, but concerning.
Do you think my presence is causing issues?
Well, I can't imagine why it would. I brought you here. As far as I know, you're safe to me.
But perhaps the secrets that you or Carmen harbor aren't safe for me. Or perhaps I just shouldn't be privy to them?
Well, there is one way that we can possibly test that theory. Hold on. I reach into, like, a pocket, and I hand Theodora a blindfold. Like a bit of cloth that would be big enough to be a blindfold, and I was just like, here, tie this on. As a blindfold, if we think that this space is responding to stuff, maybe if you can't see it, it'll rearrange itself.
Oh, okay. She'll like hesitate for a moment because this isn't something that like she would do normally, just because she relies on all her senses like when she's out.
I'm going to place a hand on Theodora's shoulder so that she knows where I am.
Okay. Yeah, I will tie the blindfold on, and then I'll reach out to hold onto Blackstone's shoulder so they can lead me through the hallways.
Okay. The spaces around you do not change.
Well, nothing changed over here, so I don't know if the blindfold is necessary. Oh well. That was one safely completed science. See, I told you today would be safe science. Well, relatively.
We'll see how long that lasts. Perhaps we should make a trail for ourselves. Let me see. Do I have a...
I probably shouldn't do that. That would possibly be very dangerous, and we said we were not doing dangerous things today. Well, I suppose let's proceed forward and see what happens, unless we want to open one of these doors. I am curious about them.
It's your mind.
Okay, well, I suppose you should stand behind me in case something comes out and decides to attack me. That would be very strange in here.
I don't stand back.
I open a door.
Okay. The lock clicks and the metal door starts to push open, creaking a bit, revealing a room that is relatively small, not very lit up at all. The light right now is coming from the torch from the hallway kind of pulling in, so it's only covering a small section of the kind of threshold of the door itself into the room. Do you have dark vision?
No.
Okay. It looks like a dark room. Stone continuing through. And are you standing in the door, like in the hallway, or are you walking in, kind of thing?
I definitely peek my head into the room.
Okay.
If there's a torch in here,
There is not.
okay. I need to make a note for this for later, but, well, let's walk into this room. It's dark in here, but perhaps we can find something to, something that provides a light in this room? You wouldn't happen to have a torch by chance?
I mean, I do have the standard adventurer's back, so I'm pretty sure I have a torch. Theodora also has dark vision. So
You would also see it's a relatively dark room. You do see that on the very far end, there seems to be kind of it's fallen apart, but kind of the skeleton of a bed. The wood kind of plankings that would have held a mattress are there. There's a rug that's basically like a ripped up piece of fabric, very old, that you can see, that's also on the far kind of right corner, about 15 feet ahead of you. Otherwise, it's a relatively dark room.
there's a broken bed. I'm saying this as I pull out a torch
Sure.
and
I
I'll
like
light
the-
it.
I can, wait, well, sure. Actually, I'll just let you do it.
Where you just cast a goddamn spell.
Fireball.
No, because it's a cantrip. It's like, no, like, it's a cantrip now. I can just, like, light torches. If I see the broken bed after the torch is lit, I'm just gonna go fix it. Because, you know, why wouldn't I?
Okay. So you're stepping into the room, you said? Because you're going to go fix the bed.
Well, yeah. Let's just let the chaos ensue at this
Okay.
point.
You step past the threshold, and as your boots hit the stonework about like 2 or 3 feet within the room itself, immediately you can hear the sound of crumbling stone. And I need you to make a dexterity savings throw, please. Both of you.
That is a 19.
19.
18.
18. Okay. At first, it sounds like sand, but then both of you feel the stones that have been holding you up immediately just drop out, giving way to darkness below. And we're going to pan over to Toby and Captain Draven to see, after finishing their meeting with Liara, what they are up to.
So, do you want to go with shopping?
Shopping. Shopping for what now?
Supplies for our trips.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
All right. And I suppose we go on a shopping run. I don't know if you want to have a shopping episode. I wouldn't, personally wouldn't. But
Don't need all
We'll
that.
speed run it.
we will get like wait, who has the money? I had the money, right?
Everybody
I have
has
a bit of
their own
money.
Has their own money.
Everybody has their own
We've had
money?
this
A bit of money on
discussion.
me.
Everybody, you all
Yep.
got your own money.
You all got your own money. Yep.
I'll get diamonds.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I have money for. Yeah.
Okay.
300 GP
Okay.
for worth of diamonds.
Okay. You are able to stop over at Trentini's elixirs and gems, and she provides you with 2 diamonds, as well as, since she was running a sale, she will also give you 2 regular healing potions along with that.
That's pretty cool.
So you can add that to your inventory. She gives you a cute little bag to kind of carry it with.
What the savings?
Yeah, with that. And you can see that there's a little, it looks almost like a keychain of an owlbear on there to kind of tie the bag off. Made out of, it looks like some kind of pine cone that's been carved. So the actual leaves of the pine cone itself are kind of fletching out, kind of like an owlbear's feathers. And you can see these little notches of wood have kind of been put into the bottom to kind of act as legs. But a cute little owlbear keychain for you.
That's cute.
Captain Draven, is there something specific you were looking for shopping-wise, resources, things like that?
Yep, just a few things. Rations,
Mm-hmm.
because I took off rations off my character sheet like a real G supposed to, since I was lost in the woods for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of water jugs that I can carry with me, like just some carafes of water.
Okay, sure. I love the Baldur's
Shut
Gate
up,
bleeding
Jordan.
through.
Shut
Yep.
up. I shut up. I already
love
see
it.
you there.
I'm here for it.
And some, if possible, lamp oil.
Okay. You can pick up the lamp oil also from Trentini's. It will cost you. How much are you thinking about getting?
I have 2 things of oil right now. I probably want to have at least 3 more.
Okay. She will give you 3 more for 15 gold. So she will offer those up. Her supply is somewhat limited, but she does give you what remains of that. In terms of
Are we open to negotiation?
Sure. She'll turn to you and so what exactly are you planning on offering me in return?
Well, outside of my wonderful companionship,
Hmm.
perhaps a night on the town.
Oh, really?
No, not really. I actually have to leave to save my friends from their own selves. They're about to go into the mountains and potentially get themselves killed. So I would prefer to spend the least amount of money possible if we're going to die with it. It's not very useful if we're dead.
That's true. I don't know if I should upcharge you for promising me a night on the town and then so hastily taking that away from me.
I mean, Looks back at Toby. We'll be coming back.
Will you? And what guarantees do
we
I
ain't
have?
leaving anytime soon. You might as well just go for it.
And what guarantees
guarantees
do
do
I
you
have that that will be a possibility?
Draven takes off one of his chains. He's like, how's about that for collateral? It's just seashells, but
Yeah, she'll look it over. Why don't you make a persuasion check?
you got it. That's an 11.
11.
You know what? I'm gonna use
You
my
have
inspiration
You have
there.
inspiration, yep.
I was like, I'm better than this.
Is it
Oh,
bad
yeah,
that
it's way
Baldur's
better.
Gate, like, immediately the rule inspiration
Yeah,
thing popped into my head?
That's a 24.
24, okay. She looks over the chain of seashells, and you see her kind of
I
getting
just saw it.
a special look at a conch shell. After a moment, her eyes kind of flit over to you. All right, let's say we'll dock it down to 8 gold. And you're paying for dinner, I'm presuming.
Of course.
All right. She'll hand you the oil. She'll give you a small wink, and then you see her kind of placing the chain into a small drawer on the side. The fucking Zoom comments that are happening right now.
There's the worst.
I just
Toby
imagine
is-
Toby's just watching. Yeah.
Yeah, Toby right there is just like,
Cribble's just doing one of these. Not again. He always does this.
and I ask Cribble, does this happen a lot?
Yes.
Oh,
He's like, I'll take them on the ship. They can get a ride on the Damp Daddy.
No, 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 no.
oh,
And also get and also
No, he means it
ride on the
genuinely. He
ship,
just
too.
takes them on the ship and just gives them a little, ride down the coast. Nothing
yeah, I don't know.
untoward, but
Yeah.
it sounds, yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
there, but we definitely believe you.
Of course, I'll take your word for it. And I just turned to, are you done with your conversation right there?
Oh, yeah.
Captain? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Then I'll just turn to.
See you soon.
She'll wink.
I just turned to Captain Draven and. Oh, that's interesting.
Was it?
A little bit, yeah. I've never actually seen that before. But so,
What do
It
you
is a
mean
bit
you've never
interesting.
seen that before? Have you never flirted?
no.
Oh, this is going to be wonderful. I'm going to teach you so much, my dear boy.
I would prefer not to learn about that, but okay. But first of all, since
It's
I'm out
the
of
art of charm. Everyone needs to have at least a little bit of it.
I'm not good with romantic stuff. I don't
You don't
even
have to
know
be romantic. You just have to make them believe it.
like a performance.
And it's similar, but like you actually have to have some of that in your heart. Like, I'd absolutely take her to dinner. 100%.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
if we come back this way, I will. I'm a man of my word. But you don't have to flirt to really get that energy out. Like to put out that attraction. You want to be like the sun. You want things to gravitate to your orbit.
Oh. Interesting.
I mean, you're already fiery.
That's true. I'll take that in consideration and consider it sort of a performance. I'm really good at performance, which, by the way, I don't have any money left. So would you accompany
Yes,
me?
yes.
No, it's not that. Would you accompany me to the, I don't know, the central place of this place? And I'm gonna do a bunch of performances to see if I can get any money for this.
What
And
kind of performances is Toby doing? Just out there twerking?
yeah, totally doing that. I just grab my bow and I just click it and I make it a lyre. And I'll actually just play this for a while to see if anybody is in the mood to just give us money. And
It might
I'll
give you
I'll
more than
find
that if you
a-
play it just right. Just pluck those strings.
okay, I see that. And I'll just find a crowded place and just carefully, actually, I just put a bag in front of me, and I bring out my lyre, and I start playing it to see if I get.
Okay. It
Oh, I'll help.
doesn't
I
take
will start gathering people, persuading them, like introducing the fiery druid, Toby.
Here's Wonderland. No.
And it's not difficult to find a very populated area. You were kind of right along the thoroughfare of the blood vessels that are Felk. And at this point in the day, it's a very busy time. There's a lot of hustle and bustle happening as people are running around to various things, whether that be meetings or to work, etc. So you can easily find a spot. We'll actually say it's over by the statue that you all saw when you were first coming into Felk. It's a relatively quiet area, but as soon as the strings began getting plucked upon the lyre, people start to gather. Why don't you make a performance check for me, please? With advantage because of Captain Draven.
Oh, that's a 17 and an 18.
17, 18, nice. Okay.
23.
All right, 23 in total. So you begin playing. Are you playing a kind of cheerful song? Are you telling a story? Like what's the vibe?
It's more of a folk song.
Okay.
Since Toby does that at home, like to just raise awareness about owlbear. So it's basically a folk story about an owlbear lost in the woods who eventually finds his way.
Love that. Okay. You have a crowd that has gathered around you and they are clapping relatively in unison. There's, of course, some folks that they trying, but they're offbeat. It's fine. They're doing their best. And you are able to continue performing. You've gathered, you've enraptured them for sure.
I'll use Druidcraft to just make sounds of owlbears, to just put flowers around me and flowers around people, and just make a handful of flower crowns for the kids that are around there. Minor illusion of a big scary owlbear that just is terrorizing a place, and a tiny little cub that just takes it on, and eventually the cub wins.
You see during this time, both of you, Bolita has been kind of hanging back the vast majority of the day so far, but has kind of taken Toby's satchel, and you kind of see has it in its beak and is walking around amongst the crowd, kind of like, hey, you want to pay? And people are putting some gold in as this is happening, and you hear a bunch of children are kind of ogling over the owlbear itself. It's a three tiefling children, which you had seen the day before. Aurea had actually stepped in because one was being, or 2 days before rather, one was being bullied by the other two. So you see her eyes kind of light up for a moment of like, whoa, that's an owlbear.
Cribble's been casting thaumaturgy to adjust the lighting with the song as you're singing it.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
It's gonna be a performance. We're gonna perform.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a supportive dad.
Yeah. And your song finishes, and there is a wide range of cheers and hoots and hollers of appreciation. And you see Bolita is kind of every now and then dropping the satchel and kind of moving some of the gold with her beak around to kind of make it even out a little bit. Do you continue, or are you a one and done? Are you a one-hit wonder when it comes to this?
If they want an encore, I'll do it.
Yeah. Want to do another performance check?
Okay.
Captain Draven and Cribble, what else are you doing during this time as like the first song has ended and now you see Toby kind of taking for a moment a thought about what they're going to play next?
I'm going to use my inspiration because that wasn't good.
So, still more of the same. What Draven will do, Cribble probably won't help on this, but Draven will go to the nice young lady at the place where he bought stuff from and invite her outside to dance. You could at least do that.
You come walking back and you kind of see she had been like reading a book on the table and such when you come waltzing in. Back so soon? Or did you just
Well, I
miss
might
me
not
that
have
much
time
already?
for dinner, but our good friend out here, Toby, is playing something quite beautiful with his lyre, and I figured maybe you like to dance.
Question.
No.
Would this be replacing the dinner later on?
No.
Have to ask. Fair enough. And she'll take your hand and follow you out. It's at this moment you get the full kind of look of her. She has silver kind of horns that kind of drape back a bit and long kind of white hair, silver that moves between the sunlight and the shadows. She's wearing a bright green forest dress that's kind of somewhat low cut. She's a businesswoman. She's trying to, use her assets as the best she can. And she does look very nice. She looks like she's in her probably mid to late 30s. And she does take your hand very daintily. She's very much like thinks very highly of herself. You know this type from Jorix very well, from the wealthy that sometimes will commission your ship to borrow it for an evening of, frivolous delights kind of thing. So, you know the type very well. But she will take your lead.
Setting up Toby for future success here.
I rolled a 15.
15. And what is this song that you are playing next?
The Raven and the Squirrel. It's another folk song about how two little critters are not evil, are enemies at first.
Okay.
But then they start hanging around and they eventually become amazing, great friends.
Amazing. And again, Bolita, you see, has in the few minutes it took you to kind of figure out what your next song was, has kind of grabbed a different bag. It might just be a scarf from your bag, who knows. It's just kind of grabbed that and is now walking around, making it almost look like no one had given gold before. So, so people are putting more gold in than they had previously when it comes to that. As you were carrying on, and out of the corner of your eye, you can see Captain Draven is dancing with the shopkeeper that you had just been in their shop. Yep, exactly that dance as well. And your song ends, and again, there's more clapping. And at this point, you can see people are enjoying it and saying bravo, but you can also see the crowd itself is starting to disperse a bit.
Yeah, and I end up in like sparkles and like fireworks around me start going off, and like, thank you everybody.
Massive clapping, and then people start to disperse. And after a few minutes, even the kids who have been ogling the owlbear as well head off. Trentini looks to you, Captain Draven, and says, well, thank you so much for the pleasure of this dance. I look forward to see your skills at the dinner table, so to speak.
I assure you, my lady, my etiquette is impeccable.
See you then. And she kind of gives a night nod and then heads back to her shop. A little bit of a skip in her step. Seems a little bit happier as that happens. You can see between the scarf and and the bag, about 80 gold has been collected
Nice.
from the performances in total. And you're able to actually find throughout the area, kind of dispersed on the ground, another 25.
Nice. I'll give 10% to my representatives, Craven and Cribble and Captain Draven.
You made
Dr.
out
Draven
like
is
a
who he'll
bandit.
be tonight.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Thank you so much
Okay.
for your help, Captain and Cribble. Here's some gold coins for you.
Keep it.
All right. Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. I'm not here to take your money, son. I wanted to see you succeed in whatever you're trying to do.
Oh, all right. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's it for me.
I knew what I was doing.
Thank you, Sphinx, for letting me know I was muted. But yes, you're able to pick that up, not a problem, in terms of the water carafes and rations as well. But is there... Where are you both heading next, just so I can kind of see what's happening before we pan back to Deodora and Blackstone?
Since we don't have like a time things, we will probably just go to find Deodora and Blackstone
Okay.
over at the library, right?
Yep, they're at the archives. Yep, which
the
is not far
archives.
from the
Right back
statue. It's down one of the kind of branch trees. So we'll have the camera kind of zoom ahead down the street a little bit ahead of you, over to Deodora and Blackstone. So, let me change the music. So, the both of you feel the stones drop out from your feet immediately. Can you both remind me what you rolled, please?
18 and 19.
18 and 19, thank you. So, even with that, I'll say it this way because I think it makes the most sense. Blackstone, you can feel yourself dropping. And in that moment, I imagine, Deodora, you're grabbing one hand and the other hand is quickly grabbing the ledge. as you both just barely hit the DC. So you're kind of hanging on. Theodora, you have Blackstone on one end, and you're kind of hanging from this now precipice. It is just darkness beneath you. There's nothing. You can feel cold air rising. That's it.
I don't think Theodora tries to talk just because of the strain. She's just going to try to... So I'm holding on with one hand
Yep.
to the ledge and then holding on to Blackstone with the other.
Yep.
Okay, just gonna try to pull Blackstone up first so that they can grab onto the ledge and then haul myself up.
Okay. Can you
Can
make
I
a
try? Can I try to acrobatics out of here?
So with where Blackstone is positioned, it's going to be incredibly difficult to do so.
Okay.
Because you would basically be swinging yourself a bit more, and that's going to cause more of a strain on Theodora to hold everything. Because it is basically like the wall even gave way. It's like now there's like a large kind of section out, so you're not even able to like swing your feet up to kind of grasp at the side and walk your way up. It is just full darkness that is enclosed around you too. But you can hear Theodora straining when it comes to that and keeping hold. So Theodora, if you wouldn't mind making a strength check. And
Can
then
I do athletics?
Yes, I'll allow that.
Okay, great. 18.
18. All right. And how are you working to get Blackstone at least anchored to what you're also holding on to?
I'm just ensuring that my grip is as tight as possible on the ledge, and then just like with like arm strength, knowing I'm gonna feel the shit tomorrow. Just pulling him up, like, and it takes a lot of effort because he's this automaton.
Yep.
And I'm trying to make things as easy as possible while that's happening.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you just dead weight yourself, and it's actually not easy.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
You
But
can-
yeah,
Oh, go on.
that's what I do. No, I was just gonna say that's what I do. I just haul him up with
And
one
you
hand.
can feel the muscles straining, bones not necessarily popping, but just almost creaking, when you're really pushing yourself about as far as you can go. But you are able to get Blackstone up. So that way his hands are also on the ledge.
Okay, and then I'll try to climb out.
All right. Can you make another strength or acrobatics check for me, please?
Athletics is gonna be 23.
23. Okay. You're able to slowly start to kind of shimmy your way back up, and you find yourself back within the dimly lit hallway.
Can I acrobatics myself out of here? Now that I'm holding onto the ledge?
Yes, now that you're hanging onto the ledge, yes.
Cool, because that was a nat 20.
Okay. Yep. You just do that Naruto kind of jumping from tree to tree, just kind of up.
So, no to opening doors or going into the rooms?
So it would seem. I am curious about what's down there, but I don't think you want to find out.
I'm also curious, but not that curious, especially because we're in your mind and I don't want to potentially do harm to you.
Well, I suppose, as is a normal thing these days, I've come here for answers and I've only come across more questions. Oh well, no more walking into doors, at least for the time being. Let's see what else lies ahead on the path, I guess.
So you both continue down the pathway, eventually reaching that kind of fork in the hallway itself. And you can see that it branches off to the right, another long hallway that then splits into 3 more hallways. What's strange about this, though, too... Actually, what are both of your passive perceptions?
My passive perception's a 22.
22.
16.
16. both of you feel as you're walking, the air kind of lifting, and both of you look up, and there's a portion of the hallway, about halfway before the actual fork, that there's stairs that are upside down and going upwards.
Oh, so basically it turns into this giant MC Escher painting.
Kind of, yeah. It's
Okay.
There are, and you see this continue as you then reach the fork. You see that there are multiple hallways, but also there are some that have more stairways and hallways that are growing up to the side diagonally. There's no rhyme or reason when it comes to the exact path that you're going on. Bless you.
Thanks.
And that's the thing. Deodora just sees Blackstone looking around at the different stairs, determining which way to go. And you said it breaks off to the left or to the right?
Yep, left and the right, and there's about 6 or 7 paths that branch off from either one of those.
I make a left turn.
Okay. You go left. Again, seeing the path continue ahead about another 300 feet. And then it immediately breaks off into straight, left, right. But on top of that, with each of these paths, the above portion and then also disappears, going upwards diagonally. It
Okay.
looks very, to kind of give a better image of it. I know there is, I'm blanking on the exact name of it, but there is that house that looks like it was never actually finished. It's one of those haunted houses.
The Winchester House.
Thank
the
you.
Winchester
Yes,
Mansion.
Winchester House. I knew Fair would know it, which is why I said
Yeah.
it very much is
I
the
love-
Winchester vibe. What was that, Robo?
I was just gonna say I love that.
Yep. It's very much that.
You
It
love
looks,
you love the house because the movie's bad.
yeah, the movie's awful.
Yeah, the movie.
I think going to Winchester,
is-
I think go Shaun of the Dead. So
no, the whole mythological myth of
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's giving Winchester kind of vibes of like a lot of these like are either pathways or sections that have no rhyme or reason and could be finished, could also not be finished. It's a little bit difficult to tell. Why don't you do an insight check on yourself, Blackstone?
An insight check on myself. 19.
19. You're getting the sense as you're kind of now seeing a visualization of all of the questions that have been bouncing around in your head, in your heart, compiled with the complexities of everything that's been bogged down for the last however many centuries you've been around. It's going to take some time. And it seems that based upon the other room that you just visited, some of these secrets may not yet be ready to be revealed. You and your mind may be a danger to themselves.
Okay. So I think for me, it would be, if that realization comes up, it's okay, well, we don't have to dive into all of this right now, but I do need to find Carmen. And with that, reach over to whatever the nearest surface is, like a wall.
Yep, the
or
walls are all
something.
around you. Yep.
And basically just touch one of the walls and kind of have like a heart-to-heart moment with it. Just kind of like, right, there's still a long way to go and a lot of questions to ask, but I don't need to know those things right now. I need to find Carmen and ask one question. And I think we can both agree that that part is fine.
Why don't you make a persuasion check for me, please?
I'm just watching Blackstone talk to a wall.
Yeah.
Let's say, is Blackstone persuading his own?
Kind of. It's that. Think of it this way. It's very much that ADHD thing of having a conversation with yourself.
They are
while you're
talking
trying
to themselves
Yeah.
through walls in their head.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you do gotta talk to the smartest person in the room.
Truth.
No, you know what it's giving? It's really giving those moments where you have to like get out of bed. You're thinking of like 13 things to do. And you're just like, I want to pick one thing to do, and I just need to do 2 minutes of it. And if I don't, like this, like that whole like talking yourself into doing one productive thing for the day.
Me
I
at
don't know,
work
I don't know
every
who
day.
that person is.
Bruh, right?
Yep.
So that's a 24 on persuasion.
24. It's silent for a moment. And then the area around you starts to kind of fill with a mist.
Theodora, you should be closer to me for a moment.
And the,
I move closer.
Because I don't know what the
No.
area around her is going to do. So I'm
it's
trying
not.
to make sure that we don't get separated or something.
you see the mist starting to take over. And eventually the walls fade away. The floor fades away, but you're not falling. Seems like you're being moved. And you find yourself in this kind of cloudied space. And after a moment, the both of you can feel that there is a presence behind you. And you, Theodora, you'll see fully now, a woman in a golden yellow kind of long floor-length dress. She's wearing a gold kind of masquerade mask that's massive, elegant. She's got her hair curly that's kind of flowing in the mist every so often. It seems like it's almost always moving very gently. There's an air of elegance, of nobility around her. And her eyes, you can't actually see the irises. They're all golden out. Almost like there is just magic that is just resonating from within her outwards. And she kind of is looking at the two of you with a very light smile, but you could both pick up immediately. There's a little bit of trepidation, hesitancy as well.
More laborious trek here than usual today, but I'm here. This is my friend Theodora, who has, well, in no small ways, kept me safe on this recent go around, I guess. And she has seen something that has brought us both here today to ask you a question. For the sake of explaining, we are physically located just outside of the archives, and it is my understanding that this was a place that you were a guardian of for some time.
And you kind of see at that moment her eyes, or rather her face kind of shifts from you, Blackstone, to Theodora, and as you mention it, she's kind of nods her head in greeting and respect to you, Theodora. And you more so feel versus actually hearing anything in your head as Blackstone is speaking, but you feel this wave of gratitude and appreciation coming from her to you, and it's kind of relaxing and kind of, I imagine, slightly jarring from, you know, the life or death that you were just in, about to fall into Blackstone's mind, but it's reassuring it's almost like just a warm hug of just thank you in this moment. And then her gaze then slowly, you can kind of feel it shifting, almost like a warm sun kind of slowly moving through the sky, looking back towards, sorry, I just read the Zoom chat, back towards Blackstone.
Do you have unfinished business in this place?
I guess you're gonna have to be more specific, Rory.
Well, Theodora, would you mind sharing with Carmen what you saw?
Oh, yeah, of course. And I'll explain just like outside of the archive, seeing the plaque with their face on it, and like the chipped away versions of Blackstone and presumably their brother, and just like, and then the vision that I have about somebody in a golden dress being stabbed while everything's burning around around them.
Interesting. You're connected with the shift weave. That's reassuring.
Is that what that's called?
Well, shadows are often imprints of the past behind. So, it's a good thing. I think it'll be helpful on your journey ahead.
It's been helpful so far.
Good. So you wanted to know if I was one of the protectors of this area.
I wanted to know if there is still something that you would care to protect or somehow set right. I also have questions about the library that exists in here and where that came from.
You kind of see she gets quiet for a moment, and that warm sun that's filling this room flickers. There's a coldness that sets in. Not a fall day, but first day of winter for a moment. A chill runs up both of your spines as the temperature just drastically drops. And then seemingly she seems to catch on and tries to reorientate herself, so to speak. Blackstone, what you're asking, one, it's a long story. One from long ago. I know you travel with others, and it probably would be best to have this discussion with all of them present, so that way they too can sound off. My unfinished business is, well, the one that, put simply, you and your friends are already on that path to fix. And yes.
All right.
This, where you're at now, holds great meaning to me. It's a landmark for many things. The fact that it's still surviving now, it's reassuring, but you kind of see for a moment, just, it's almost like the mask has been peeled away. And instead of this nymph of high power, Blackstone and Theodora, you see instead a scared, unsure young woman being thrust into chaos and trying to make sense of it and having to make decisions not only for herself but others around her. Others are relying on her. You can see the shadows almost forming behind her of people looking to her, forcing her into that spotlight. And her being forever haunted by the decisions that she was made to make. Unsure if they were the right ones. Sorry, Salem has a lot to say, apparently.
Well, I can see that this is... As I'm kind of like looking at the backdrop of all the environmental changes happening, I can see that these things are concerning for you, but as I understand it, back then, I was also there to help, so I suppose at least that much is consistent.
In more ways than one. You're seeking the blade, correct? And she's kind of shifted her head. That moment of vulnerability, like a teardrop on the page, just it's there, but it's gone. It's melting away as you see now the nymph, the one of power and order, has stepped forward again.
Well, surprisingly, I had come to ask you a question about the Feywild, but I think we also had a thing that we were I'm looking at Theodora at this moment. We also had a mountain to find, I believe.
There are a number of mountains throughout Ampistrano. You'll have to be more specific.
We're looking for the blade.
Got it. You're looking for the Shadow Weaver. It's a unique blade that was given to the Chosen by the Shiftweave. Shiftweave is different than most gods. It's not one, but three. Three individuals that have banded together. Their presence, much like the Lady of the Veil, is absolute. And one that deals with the in-betweens of spaces and times. They had a champion that was long ago, even before my time, that wielded a blade that was able to cut through the fabric of our dimension and go elsewhere. To be able to help assist other gods, other champions when needed. It's a powerful weapon. If fallen into the wrong hands, it's terrifying to believe what could potentially come of it. From what I know, there was a temple, at least when I was alive, that resided within the Zyrenia Mountains.
Oh, those are the mountains that I was referring to. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name.
Resided within there. I cannot say what happened to the temple just because, truthfully, I don't know. You might find answers in the archive. You might find answers elsewhere. But I guarantee you the blade is there. When the champion fell, the blade was placed within their resting place as well. The belief that the blade can help to defend from beyond the grave. I believe there is also armor there as well, as they had a displacer beast that they used in battle to assist.
Oh, will it fit a blink dog? Because that's what I have. Otherwise, I'll need to wait for Oria to come back.
The armor, from what legend has told us, is one much like the Shiftweave moves and changes, so it will adapt as, and you kind of see her eyes kind of flitting around you, Theodora. Sparky, is it? As Sparky grows, too.
Immediately suspicious. The most important thing is to make sure that certain people don't get their hands on it. I'm not bold enough to think I'm somebody's chosen champion.
Never know. I would choose you. You seem very capable.
Oh, I mean, I am, thank you. But I still, I just feel like that's a lot of hubris to say you're the champion when, you don't have any sort of official anything that says that.
She kind of looks over at Blackstone. I really like her.
I also like her very much.
You've chosen your friends well. That would be my recommendation.
I think some of them have also chosen me.
So that handles the blade and the armor. Was there anything else you wanted to know?
Well, from what you know of Felk, where in Felk has the closest connection to the Feywild?
Well, one would guess the glade, perhaps? The waters around the willow tree are known to give blessings either of healing or to help others connect with the spirit in other dimensions around. So you could certainly try there.
Okay. Also, do you have some way to make yourself easier to find? I was very concerned that Theodora might fall into an unending abyss of some kind earlier.
That was your mind protecting you from yourself. You could have just called me in our usual meeting room and I would have.
Well,
You always were
attempt-
the one to take the more complex route.
Well, I did attempt to. I just ended up in a place that I normally don't go.
It's true.
It was an unusual place. I'm very concerned about it.
Well, welcome to the interlockings of your mind, your soul.
Well, if that's what this is like, then I am almost certain I've added a few more hallways, pathways, stairs, towers, other missing things and miscellaneous places that will also try to protect me from themselves.
I would say the opposite. As you get more comfortable with these truths or things start to get more revealed, it's very possible pathways will clear out, making true for the truth path ahead, so to speak. Things become more simpler as you know yourself a bit more. And those pathways may change as you also change. You've already changed since you've met your friends. And that's okay.
Let's hope so. And let's also hope that I run into these changes in truths quick enough to be of use to, well, a number of people that I have grown very fond of.
You're already useful. If people are only looking at you by the use that you have, they are not individuals worth knowing. And it's not a race. People go their whole lives getting to know themselves.
Theoretically, that means I will be at this for probably a very long time.
Not theoretically. I think that's a fact. It's a
Wow.
lifetime. It's a lifetime.
My lifetime is unusually long.
Come on. leaves it open for many decisions to be made. And what might be long might be short for others. But, and she kind of at this moment looks at Deodora, her head kind of shifting. This is what I was concerned about, is you'll be so focused on the answers ahead, racing forward, that you feel like you'll forever be stuck behind. Those answers are going to continue to come at you when you are ready. Those truths. And you do not need to rely solely upon yourself for all of these things, or look at the most complicated of paths ahead. You do not need to just survive on your own. You have individuals with you that are with you, that can help shoulder this load. Not that it's a burden, but this load, this journey with you. Don't get so lost in that head of yours that you forget to see everything that's in front of you. Yes, I'm speaking to
assuming you
myself
mean when
here,
we're-
thank you.
I'm assuming you mean when we're not here, because in front of me here were stonework, portcullises, and random other things.
Think of it this way.
I
Those are
think next time I'll try to use
representations
the
of...
waiting room.
The waiting room is open, right? The hallways and walls and stone floors that you saw, those are barriers of your own making things more difficult for yourself.
Oh, so
Nope.
what you mean to tell me is I could walk out into a hallway
Mhm.
and I can unmake this?
Potentially. Once you get to know yourself a bit more. You're still in the early stages.
I suppose for fairness, there was a reason why you were in front of the portcullis we walked into when we first got here.
Mm-hmm. You wanted to go searching for me, so your mind replicated that. Created something to search for. But it also gave you insight into yourself.
It quite literally did not. It tried to kill me.
That sometimes happens when you're lost in your head too much. But luckily, you had a friend here to pull you out of it.
I apologize for the strain of that caused you, by the way.
Oh, I'm fine. But I would rather be strained than to let you fall.
Is there anything
Fair
else
enough.
that you need?
Oh, well, hang, if, it is very noisy in this place sometimes.
I think that might be Corbin calling you.
Oh, well, actually, that is probably a little bit on the lighthearted news. I want to try to find a connection to the Feywild and make Corbin a proper familiar. I think it will be good for him to know how to become new and different whenever he wishes to.
Kind of see her nodding. This is a little outside of her scope, but she's trying to be supportive of... Sure.
Oh, also, if there's any, we are going to have to leave here in a couple of days' time. So, if there's anything that it is important for you, for me to do while I am here, please let me know.
keep doing what you're doing.
I believe it'll be far easier to look for me than it will be for me to look for you.
We'll see. One thing you can do for sure is relying upon your friends a bit more.
I have to ponder what that means. But I suppose at this moment, we should be going.
See you later. And you see everything slowly, the mist kind of overtaking. Everything kind of fading to black.
Nice meeting you.
And the both of you find yourselves standing just outside the archives. Toby and Captain Tyborn, you both have arrived at this point and are kind of watching the two of them kind of just like doing that moment of just fully spacing out, just having that neurospicy moment of just like, I am elsewhere. And next to Blackstone, you can see that Corbin has been just repeatedly hitting Blackstone with a fan on the side of his cheek, and Sparky has just planted himself firmly in front of Deodora and is giving the biggest puppy dog eyes of concern, like as the two of you approach. And at this moment, Deodora and Blackstone, you're finding yourself back here.
Well, that is the last time I decide to use the front door, because the front door is dangerous.
The front door of what?
His mind
You had to be there.
You had to be there.
kind of had to be there. But
Um,
also, Blackstone, it's only as dangerous as you make it.
Oh, if there's anything I have learned, maybe I should work a job in security detail. I am good at making things very dangerous.
I mean, perhaps that's a future path for you.
I think I would rather cook, if it's all the same to you.
let me
And
cook.
always this weird.
Yes, we
Raven
are.
says to Toby.
I've never actually. Were you just standing there? Did something happen to both of you?
Several things, perhaps. But we can discuss that later.
Okay. Well, we finished with our mission, and we got a few. We got supplies now. But are y'all finished with your quest?
No, we had, what do you call them? A side quest, as it were.
Oh,
Toby played the lute or the lyre or one of those stringy thingies. And it was great. So good. Made so much money.
Oh, well, congratulations.
thank
Oh,
you.
that's fun.
Thank you. Captain Draven and Cribble helped a lot by bringing in people and like making it look like an actual spectacular show.
I mean, I'm sure that wasn't very hard.
Oh, thank you.
Phenomenal.
Okay, but
Well-
we did find out about our next steps, which I wanted to discuss, but should we discuss this after we finish with the research?
Well, sure, it's in this building over here. I am just looking for one particular thing, but it seems that maybe we'll have two of them. Oh, we also learned a thing about the set of mountains that we're going to. That was useful.
Yes.
We also learned about that, so maybe we can
We-
share our.
Did as well.
We also learned about what the weapon and armor is that we're looking for.
Oh, really? Is it like a
Yes.
powerful weapon?
Apparently so. Apparently you can like cut through into other dimensions or something. It went a little bit over my head, but I got the gist of it.
It's kind of like a sword that works the way that Warrior's Pearl works.
Yes.
Oh.
Or when I blink.
I know, like, the captain's confusion and go, well, it looks like it's a blade that allows people to poof from one place to another place instantaneously.
That sounds incredibly useful.
It is
And
dangerous and possibly more dangerous than me.
Blackstone is pretty lethal.
Yep. And it sounds like.
All right, then. That is something. So there's a dragon.
Yeah.
On the mountain.
Oh,
That-
okay.
That is where
Is-
some of them tend to live.
Is it especially unkind or unfriendly?
I don't think so. It didn't. The way she made it sound was that it was fine with people, but it's also a dragon.
What does that mean?
It means that it is very large and that it could eat us within a single swallow.
Is that a bad thing?
Would you want to be eaten? Digested
Well-
into the foul and foul pits of a dragon's gullet.
I do not yet know the answer to that question.
The answer is no.
Ah, well, if the dragon doesn't eat you, is that a concern?
I mean, anything that's large enough to eat me is generally a concern of mine.
How is it more of a concern than other humans your size?
Because I wouldn't have to worry about being digested by them, just stabbed in the throat or the heart or something along those lines. Or maybe being immolated. Oh, dragons could probably immolate you as well. Yeah, they can immolate you or
Well, I
freeze
mean,
you or
if you think about
shock
it,
you to death or drop you
would-
from
I
a
mean-
great height.
just because you're not eating whole doesn't mean that people can't digest you.
Thank you for that imagery. That was exactly what I
welcome.
needed in my life.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like, I mean, you can't just, if you're gonna have this fear, you kind of have to have this fear for most creatures.
No, you don't. No. Dragons' teeth are the size of people.
Not all of them. That's only when they grow to like a very old age. I have a friend who is a part dragon. Their teeth are not that big.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's move on.
Cal's
from
teeth
this
were actually pretty
conversation,
tiny.
please.
I wonder how Cal is.
You know, it is very amusing. The captain is such a particular type of person. Very brave and capable, but also very concerned about being harmed by various things.
Very
You've had to have
concerned-
lived a very interesting life.
very
Yes.
concerned about hypotheticals.
Also, having children make you wonder about like whether or not you get to see them again.
Oh, that's why I'm going to take Corbin to the Glade later and possibly make him an eternal creature. Maybe you should consider doing that for your children. And then I walk over to the archive to open the front door.
If I think I looked at Jeremy and said, yeah, if I die, Sparky just comes with me, so I still get to see him. And I don't have any children. So I don't really I understand your concerns even though I don't relate to them.
Do you have family, dear Dora?
Yes.
Would you do you think they would miss you if you were gone forever?
Yes, but also no, because where I come from, we believe that people live on even after they die. So they're never, just because they're not with you physically doesn't mean they aren't still with you.
Suppose I believe that in a way. But I am concerned for my children, and I want to be a good dad. Even though me and their mother are not together and they're grown and doing their own things, and I'm sure they'll soon have children of their own. I want to be there for them. I want to see my grandchildren.
I think by having these concerns, you've already proven yourself to be a good father.
Better than most.
For real. Like, And also, your relationship with their mother doesn't dictate if you're a good father or not.
Suppose not.
How many
Thank you.
children do you have, Captain?
3.
They're all in school right now, or most of them are in school?
One decided to take up adventuring. The other 2 are in their studies.
Where?
Jorks?
Both of them?
Yes. Or at least, I believe both of them. It's been a while since we've talked.
One was in Allegris, or I'm sorry, Illipin. I apologize.
Illipin, thank
yeah,
you.
one was
I
in
was just saying-
Illipin. I do remember that.
That's that.
One of these
I'm
kids
like,
has-
wait a second.
If there
One of
was
these
one
kids
in
has
Illipin, I remember that.
Has absolutely dropped out. Transferred, and the dad has no idea where they are. No. Oh, well, I have to assume that the one in Illipin is safe because we did what we could to stop the happenings there.
Jorix is another story entirely, apparently. And my
Yeah, Jorix
ship's
is-
there. My
Yeah.
ship.
Jorix right now, just from my estimation and understanding, is pretty fucked. So that's why I'm trying to, get us back on the road as fast as we can. While also, we have things that we need to do here. So
Yeah, Cap, we gotta go unfuck Jorix. And yeah. Well. Did you really go into Blackstone's mind?
yes,
How does that even work?
spirit energy. The energy that you don't believe in.
Right. Okay. Well, I also think there's mushrooms that can make you think you're on someone else's mind too, but I don't know if you call that spirit energy or just being high.
I know what those mushrooms are and what they look like, and we did not consume any today.
I
don't
believe
know
I
if
got the
Blackstone
door
can
open to the
consume-
archives.
Blackstone can eat. I've seen him eat.
Where does it? You know what? Never mind. Let's go into the archives.
Okay.
Just constantly blowing Javen's mind every single fucking day. Does not know what to think anymore.
Nope.
This is so much.
There's so much sound. Okay, you step forward into the archives, and immediately, kind of stale air kind of hits you, and your eyes kind of adjust to the dim light that's in this space. You're in a massive room. You can see as your eyes kind of slowly adjust. You don't necessarily need dark vision. It's just some things are in shadow, some things are not necessarily in the most pristine of conditions. You can actually see through the kind of sunlight that's streaming through some of the windows. You can see the dust particles kind of slowly moving through the air. The air itself feels very heavy. Along either sides of the walls around you are massive bookshelves that easily go up about 20-30 feet. You can see largely mahogany kind of in color. There are tomes on there ranging from pencil thin to massive. This entire area itself is just floor to ceiling books. The actual library itself seems to almost extend beyond the small trunk that you saw outside. There are 2, 3, 4 kind of floors as you're entering this much larger space. The ceiling itself kind of blowing out another 300 to 400 feet. There's a skyline, which has, as you're kind of looking at it, marbling and stonework that seem to kind of perfectly stage within it the stars and skylines of Ampistrano as it moves through, whether it be the moon's phases, since there are 3 moons, to the stars above it, to the weather. You can also see through this, there are large kind of crystals that are kind of hanging either in ornamentation or helping to refract some of the lights around the room, kind of casting a little bit more ambiance in there. There's a very slight kind of music playing. It sounds almost like a harpsichord or a piano lightly being played, and that is echoing through this much larger chamber. In the very center of the room, underneath that massive skylight, you see that there is a kind of raised platform, and on it seems to be a very slim, kind of carved out podium. The actual stand itself, very kind of marbled. It has crystals and imbued within it, looking like anything ranging from diamonds to amethyst to emeralds. The actual podium itself kind of butterflies out with these wings at this moment, not holding any books, but there is this kind of sheen of sunlight that's coming down directly onto this podium. At this time, there's no one else in this chamber. Your footsteps are echoing across the wooden floors that are kind of creaking every so often, and you can see that your footprints are kind of almost cleaning the floors a bit, as there is a very large layer of dust around you. Why don't each of you roll a perception check for me, please?
Filming now. Is a
It's a 22 on perception.
Okay, perception, thank you.
16.
16,
24.
24.
17.
17. Okay. Those of you that rolled 17 and below, you hear for a moment the sound of fluttering. And as you look up, you can see every so often, it looks like the books are flapping and almost like birds moving from one shelf to another every so often from their perches. That kind of catches you up, and you're kind of looking at the ceiling. Those of you that rolled 19 and above, you notice around the podium, it's almost like there is a layer of water. It moves from this kind of wood to almost a black obsidian marble. And you can see that there is purple light. It's almost like the complete copy of this library, this archive that you're in, has also been implemented into the floor below. There's a set of stairs that wrap around the podium going downwards into what appears to be another section of the library. In your view, it's completely upside down. So to kind of give an idea, there's a torch going this way on the normal library, and then underneath where the shadow would be, it looks like it's going the opposite way. So it's kind of into that floor. It's got purple and blue lighting all around. Theodora, you pick up, there is a strong shift weave presence from here. This looks like the equivalence of a shift weave library has been also copied within this archive. Instead of a podium, there is a large opal kind of orb in its place. And you can see there's some indentations where individuals have placed their hands to perhaps see visions of whatever the shift weave has been wanting to show them.
Is it like glowing or anything?
Very faintly. It's kind of like a light that needs to be changed. You can see it kind of sputtering every now and then, using whatever kind of sunlight's coming from the normal standing library.
I think I'll just approach it.
Okay. The rest of you see Deodora slowly disappearing into the floor, and after a moment, kind of
I'll be honest with
appearing
you.
almost like a shadow where Blackstone is kind of standing. So Blackstone, you're standing normally, and Deodora, you're standing upside down to everybody else, almost acting as Blackstone's shadow as you find yourself within this chamber. And you can hear around you, Deodora, the whispers. Not terrifying, but just information that's waiting to be unlocked.
Yeah, Draven is backing up a few steps after seeing this.
Is there a concern?
Is that not a concern for you? Is this just normal, everyday behavior of things?
Well, she did take the stairs. They're right there.
You understand perspective, yes?
Do you mean in the sense of artistry?
Sure.
Yes, concepts like length and foreshortening and being in three-dimensional space.
Yes. So do you see how this is odd in three-dimensional space?
Oh, what you're asking for, I think, sounds more like empathy.
Yes, that's what he's asking for. This is a little much for his brain. All of this is just a lot for the... Cribble, please.
Cribble, I feel like you might be able to give me some insight about a few things. Would you mind answering some questions?
Potentially.
Okay. Well, my first question is, does the captain have a particular aversion, if you will,
I am
to
standing
magical
right
things?
here. Some magical things, like the thing he's wearing is magical, but other stuff that doesn't seem to make logical sense according to him. That's his words. It messes with him a bit. Like if gravity got turned upside down, i.e. what we're seeing right now, his brain goes.
Oh. So, an aversion to the unknown, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. It's not aversion, it is concern.
Oh, well, let me ask you a more direct question, Captain. Would you also care to use the stairs? That would be aversion. And that is okay. Aversions are things that we can work on, because magical things are not dangerous.
Toby just goes.
Cribble's like, come on, Cap. We're not
Well,
gonna die.
You know
Probably.
something, Cribble and Captain? As I understand it, you have been in very particular pursuit of understanding things about the magic of nature. Do you know about the Feywild?
Would we know about the Feywild? That's a great question. GM question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a roll or?
Yep, you would roll for it. Roll a history check. And Deodora, would you mind rolling a perception check, please, with advantage?
All right. Let's see. The captain actually did all right on that one. That was a 17 from the cap.
Okay.
I got 21.
21. Okay. Yeah, you've heard of the Feywild. It's, again, not necessarily of something that you've necessarily dealt with. You've heard more so stories about, like, the sea life associated with the Feywild. Because, you know, there have been tales of, you know, sirens and mermaids coming from that area. And that's, you know, the whole reason of why they lure people to their deaths at so many depths. So you would be familiar with it. Probably, I would say, with that role and based upon the very aversion that we're getting kind of from Captain Draven, not the most pleasant of tales. You haven't been hearing about, you know, magical individuals with healing powers. You've heard instead about individuals that have been caught in circles and trapped there, dancing until they're dying, things like that. Some of the more morbid tales of the Feywild.
Yep. Not a kind of place that I really like to travel. I hear they're trickster creatures and other foul things. I think foul is the right word. Things that would get you killed because they think it's funny.
There are birds in the water?
I feel like I'm missing something here. Birds?
Have you heard that? I suppose that you've heard that the sea is dangerous?
The sea is dangerous. I can tell you that with experience.
Theodora, so you're seeing this happen for a moment, and then you feel a presence on your side as the camera kind of slowly shifts, phasing into the floor to what you're seeing. And stepping out from the shadows, you see an individual stepping forward. I'm sorry. Is someone not helping you? And that is where we're going to end for today. So,
I attack.
See?
that is where we're going to cut it for today. I know we went a little bit long, but there was a lot to cover, and I wanted to get y'all back together before we ended. So, yeah. Great job today, y'all. It's good to be back. We're going to be, like I said, taking another... this is our mid-season break. We're going to be off for the next couple weeks just because of schedules. Some of us have charity one-shots next week, and then I'm going to be at Big Bad Con the following week, but we'll be back on October 7th. Robo, do you want to plug again what you're doing today? And also what's happening on October 7th, because you have a thing on October 7th.
Yeah. So I haven't said this aloud, so everybody here is going to hear it first. But from the 6th to the 8th, October 8th, we're going to have the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration event at my channel. And we're going to have like a bunch of cool games with awesome people. And we're going to be raising money for Tequeria, which is a place that helps Latinx people to get better jobs in tech. So that's our cause. And right now at my channel, we have the Roll for the Arts, and we're raising money for the Entertainment Community Fund. If you want to drop there, we're right now, I guess it's going the Baldur's Gate 3 with Noir Enigma, Sam DeLave, and I forgot his name, Eric 16-bit Eric.
16-bit Eric.
Yeah. So if you want to drop that, but thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, I shall be raiding on over there, Robo. So we'll head on over there. Thank you so much for joining us again. Go check out our Patreon. There's going to be a lot of stuff being uploaded this week now that I've had a moment to rest. But thank you all so much for spending your afternoon with us, and we'll see you next time from Beyond the Veil. Bye, everybody.